Hey, how you doing? It's Gerard Gaines. Man, we're super duper excited. There goes that word again. But we are, right now we're just in the perfect moment at the perfect time. And if we have the right mindset, guys, we can go to the next level. So what I want to cover really quickly is, obviously, if you haven't heard the new news, that the company, our shipment actually went to Florida. That's right, Florida. And the home office is in Atlanta. Okay, so those are just one of those things of doing business that happens. Sometimes UPS is going to lose a package. Unfortunately, our packages is the kind of the package that got lost or went to the wrong location. So for that reason, guys, we are not going to open up the portal so people can begin to pay. And I tell you what, that's a testament of great leadership, because our leaders, they say, you know what, if we don't have the product in hand, we don't want to be taking people's money, which I think that's great. So many other companies, they'd say, well, shoot, man, let's go ahead and take the money and we'll get the product to them when they get the product. And so our leadership didn't do that. Guys, for that reason, it is so important for us to understand the moment that we're currently in. So with that being said, guys, we are in the moment of greatness. We are right now currently, if you look at like Apple or Microsoft when they were, coming up, literally, you have to understand the moment that you're in. Originally when they were forming and they were working out of a garage, guess what? Guys, that percentage, 10% at that time was not a lot. I mean, it wouldn't pay you a bunch of money. But guys, guess what? Now, being at 10% of the company, well, now you would be a billionaire. So guys, it's two things that I want you to realize when you're in the moment of greatness with a company that's going to the next level. Is first and foremost, understanding, guys, fight for your percentage. Fight for, your percentage within that organization. You imagine, guys, 10% again of Microsoft would now be worth billions of dollars. Guys, the percentage that you have within the company, that is going to be worth a lot of money. You think about it. So if you are at 10% of what the company is, and then we go to being a $1 billion company, we go to being a $2 billion, a $5 billion, a $10 billion company, which is where I believe we're on our way to, guys, then now your 10% of $10 billion is you actually having a $1 billion company, okay? And so you want to fight for that percentage. So the second thing is fighting for that percentage, guys, or the first thing is still, the fighting for that percentage literally is a matter of sending out your messages. So guys, I tell you right now, I'm looking for people that want to band with us, that says, hey, you know what, man, the fight isn't over. If they gave us more time, well, then why don't we use that time for our set up, okay? So for us, I've decided I'm going to send out an additional 100 messages, and I'm going to do that for the next 2 days. Guys, if they're going to give me more time to play with, then guess what? I'm going to use that time to my benefit and play. And so what I'm looking for are people that are just like me, that want to go to the next level, that says, hey, well, if you'll send 100 messages, well, then I'll send 100 messages. And guys, you want to get people on your team that says, hey, I'll do the same thing. I'll send 100 messages. And so for whoever wants to do that, band with us. We're going to send out a new 100 messages. The second thing is when you're in that moment of greatness that you want to make sure you take advantage of, is that we want to make sure that we have the ability to change. Guys, I was looking at an article, and I don't normally read Forbes and Fortune magazines and that kind of stuff, but the top 500 companies in America, the number one reason why those are the top companies is because they were able to adapt to change. That is the number one reason why they are in those top spaces. In fact, when you do a research on those top companies, over 80% of those companies, one of the things that they had in common was the first thing that they set out to do, they actually are selling a different product, or they are doing a different task. So what does that mean? That means that change is a fundamental part of success. Okay, and then understanding, are you embracing the change? Are you embracing the changes? Guys, to be able to build in this climate, you have to be able to embrace the changes and understand there are going to be changes. When I see the change, I go, wow, yes. I mean, think about how many changes have Microsoft had over the last course of a year? Well, not a lot. Okay, when we're in the changing phase, and there's a lot of changes coming, that's evidence that we are on the ground level of a huge growing company, okay? And then we want to, if you embrace the change is one thing, okay? But then you want to capitalize on that change. So when there's a change that happens, you want to capitalize on it. You want to say, man, okay, well, they changed this. Man, if they're going to give us another 2 or 3 days to play, well, guys, man, I'm going to play. I'm going to get some more people on board, okay? And one of the reasons why that's important, I'm going to give you some numbers here, guys. Right now, I want you to understand the momentum that we have is without the product being in our customers and our team's hands. Once they touch the product, guys, the product is so awesome. This is a product that spreads and it is shared. People will share it naturally. So what does that mean? When one lady uses the product, guess what? She's going to share that 5, 10, 15, 20 times just simply from using the product. So let me give you some numbers here. Guys, if you go into the launch with 50 people on your team, guys, just looking at the numbers, and the statistics that we're looking at, guys, you're set to double your team 4 to 5 times. So instead of having 50 people coming out of March, you should have about 250 people. If you and guys, that will pay you $2,000 to $3,000. Okay, 250 people will. Look at this: 100 people times 5 coming out of the event. Guess what? 50. That'll grow into 500 people by the end of the month, guys. That'll pay you $5,000 to $6,000. Check this out. 200 people times 5, that's 1,000 people. This is if you have 200 people once we get the product in hand, okay? That'll grow to 1,000 people within that month. But guess what? Guys, that'll be $10,000 to $15,000. And if you have 500 people going into that event or going into our launch, guess what? Times 5, that's 2,500 people, and that'll pay you $30,000 to $35,000, guys, for the month. Guys, I want you to understand that if we just lock in and if we keep our eyes on the prize, if we use the extra time that has been given to us and we send out those 100 messages, guys, you will see your teams explode to a whole new level, and you will see your income explode to a whole new level. The name of the game is get as many people as possible before we actually launch, where we're actually taking money and getting the product on the street. And the reason is because the more people you have that does that, the bigger your doubling periods will be, okay? And then, and guys, again, if you have a team, you want to get this in their hands, you want to send this information out to them, forward this video to them, and understand, guys, everyone isn't going to come with us. And I think that's very key. And it's very critical to understand. Guys, we're only expecting anywhere from 70 to 80% of the people that we have in our back offices to convert to actual customers or to convert to actual reps that want to build a huge organization. I want to leave you with this. Microsoft, again, $1 billion company. Guys, if you had 10% of that company, you would be a billionaire. Guys, Nspire is going to be the same exact way, because the growth of the company is we are in that growth. So if the company is growing at a 10% or a 20% rate, guess what? If we grow at a 10 or a 20% rate, and if we are 10% of the company, or even 1/30th of the company, once we go to $1 billion, or once we go to $10 billion, well then guess what? That will be $300 million that your company would produce just through natural growth. So I want you to understand that at the beginning, you have to do a lot. Once we go through the launch, you won't have to do as much, as though the product will be in the hands of the people who need it most. Guys, I want to leave you also with this. If you look at the company, we got 60,000 representatives, right? 60,000 representatives, if we divide that, okay, by the 70% of the people that's going to come on board, we come up with about 40,000 to about 45,000 people. Let's call it 50,000. Guys, that means we're on average, we have about 1,000 representatives per state. 1,000 per state. Every state has millions of people. So guys, the market right now is untapped. I don't care how tapped you think it is untapped. We only average about 1,000 reps per state. And I'm telling you guys, we lock in, we stand our ground, and guess what? We go in, we work hard, and we send out 100 messages. And we do that for the next 2 or 3 days, 100. Guys, our team will explode to a whole new level. We want to be calling the people that haven't done as much. We want to be calling the people who've done a whole lot. And we want to make sure we get this message to them and help them understand that we still have a couple of days before we launch, well, we're considered in a pre-launch phase. Let's use this time to our benefit, and let's not sit on the bench. I know we're going to descend upon Atlanta as we speak. I'll be leaving here in a couple of hours, but we want to make sure that we're playing to the end, playing through the tape, and guys, setting ourselves up to be able to live the life that we all deserve and that we all desire. Hey guys, again, I'm Gerard Gaines. Let's play to the end. Let's play to the tape. And guys, let's live in this moment. Right now, we're in a moment. We're in the moment. We are writing history. Guys, come write history with us.